Thank you for your time. So Agon is your first feature film. It's a fiction, but how can I say that? It kind of looks like a documentary, at least in the beginning. The first part really makes us believe that it's like some kind of a documentary. Was it a conscious choice, or it just happened like this, and it's just how we feel it? Or...
No, very conscious, and you said it exactly how I usually say it. So it's a fiction film, but at the beginning of the film, it relies on a more realistic kind of visual approach, and that was because I wanted to make sure that because I knew that I was going into a invented Olympic Games, very speculative, and the events that happens are very, the film becomes hyper-fictional, almost oniric, towards the end of the film. But I wanted to make sure that you would believe in it, as am I really watching the Olympic? And so the idea was at the beginning to have more of this approach, and then slowly kind of transition the film, the story, the visual style, everything that comes with it into a different language.
Okay. Well, it works pretty well. I have a question towards that. At the end of the movie, you say that it's been inspired by an event in fencing in 1982. But you decided to tell three stories at the same time with three different athletes. And we kind of feel that the main story is more like the one with the judoka. Why how come that in the end the story that inspired you is not like completely at the center of the movie?
I don't remember now. I should, because I wrote it, but I don't remember exactly the wording of the text, but I will be very direct and honest. So the film wasn't inspired or came out of that event. My original idea for the film, the very beginning when I started writing, was I want to write a film. Originally was an animation, not a live action film, about a modern Joan of Arc. What if she's a Olympic fencer, goes at the Olympics, kills someone, and then in this sort of geopolitical event that the Olympics are, she has to go under trial, like Joan of Arc, and it's really about morality of whose fault, and her as an athlete, as a proxy for a soldier among countries fighting. So I think this is where the film started. By doing this, I found out I had to do research about similar accident, because I was interested about doing all of the technical and legal part super kind of accurate.
Okay.
And that is why it came out like that. And then I had to put the card, to be honest, I'm not afraid of saying the truth, because I was asked by the International Federation that helped me, and they were fantastic, to mention that currently, there has been done a lot of work to try to always make it into a safer and safer and safer sport. So, but in a way, what you said is what I believe is, I agree and is true, is that the film originally started really focused on the fencing episode, but then I think when I started to write all of the other episodes and shot the film and met Alice Bellandi, I think that she had a very, very strong presence in the film, and I think in a way it shifted the attention more towards her episode. But And I think it's also quite personal in the sense that I've had conversation about the films, of course, with many people by now, and there's some who there's like each person has a curiosity that is more drawn to one episode or the other, the rifle shooting, the judo, or the fencing.
Okay. I want to ask you also about in the very beginning of the movie, we have this long scene about the knee operation.
Yes.
How did you end up shooting that scene? Was it like, did you pick up like archives, or it was really like
No.
okay?
No, it was very planned. So there was a lot of work before. So all of this, because I'm kind of geek I'm a bit of a nerd. So everything was very, very, very accurate, and I wanted to have the surgery, the real surgery from the beginning. I wanted to shoot the surgery because for me it's really a kind of a metaphor for the film and this in a way beauty within such a tragedy. This idea of technology actually carving inside the body. As a strong juxtaposition. So I wanted that from the beginning. What I did was we shot the film, the fiction part, and I had, of course, the Alice with a prosthetic with a scarf and slightly smaller leg, and then I knew which was the type of operation I needed to film, but I knew from before shooting the fiction in which hospital and with which doctor I would have shot, because he agreed. We just needed to work out the timing, but he agreed on doing that, which was an hospital in Milan. And then basically we had to find a patient that would agree and that would have the physical appearance. I mean, it's very abstract. It's just, a leg, but it needed to be a big leg. So actually that character, that person is a 20 years old male football player.
Okay.
Who was actually was actually half waking when they did the operation, strangely enough. And I went there and I did a lot of scouting, like I did multiple surgery with them and to understand how I could tell this story and then, set up the camera. It was just me, basically. So what we did there was a team in a less sterile environment, and then inside the surgery was just me.
Okay, that was a very good scene. I think it really sets the atmosphere for the rest of the movie, and it's very like how can I say that? Real, it's not like something beautifully shot. It really feels like, oh, okay, that's the tragic part of being an athlete.
Yeah.
Just before we finish, the competition scenes were filmed like very privately, like there's no crowd and anything. I was wondering why exactly.
So it's a long explanation, but I'll try to keep it short. When the movie started, as I told you, as an animation. When the film went into becoming a live-action project, I had to face one big problem, which was, okay, now how am I gonna shoot the Olympics? My first film with a limited, small, independent Italian film. So I really started to work on, okay, what is really the Olympics? What is the sport? Where is the Olympic going? And that led me to this thinking of, ultimately, particularly all of these Olympic small minor sports, they exist just because of their video content. It's not like there's huge audience going live to watch the final of the World Cup of diving, It's like there's probably just friends and families there. So the idea was, okay, if it's really about, if sport is really about the video and the Olympics is really about the recording, there's a whole history about the development of movie technology is really kind of the same time scale of the development of the Olympics from the beginning of the 19th century. And so I thought, what if, and this was also thinking about Los Angeles 28, what if there's a day where we, instead of the cinema or the TV going to the place of sport? What happens if we take sport and we bring it into the facility that is most suited to shoot video, which is the sound stage? And by doing that, you unlock this new layer of information, which is sound. So you can record sound very accurately. So the idea that maybe it's a speculation of my imagination, in Los Angeles, the judo or the 100 meters or the, I don't know, the archery competition happens within one of the empty studios in LA, you know, of the Universal or Paramount. So the idea
that's
of...
very interesting.
Yeah,
no, it's a nice touch. Yeah, very good idea. I think we're out of time. Grazie mille per l'intervista.
Thank you very much. Grazie a te. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.